Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another episode of Touching Base here on Fearless Games. Welcome back, everybody. I almost forgot that.
Guys.
You forgot the most important part.
What's that?
No, you almost forgot the most
Yeah,
important part.
almost.
Almost.
So,
It's because you're sitting in a different spot.
yeah, this guy's being.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't want to sit in the middle again. I always sit in the middle.
So, does anyone have any news?
I think you do.
I do, but does anyone have any other news before I go?
Only if I steal your news.
Well,
You can steal that.
I have unrelated news.
Okay.
We'll start with unrelated
Um,
news.
So I don't know whether or not anyone but me is a huge dork, but the next Kamen Rider series after the current one, Kamen Rider Wizard, which apparently premieres in October, has
So
officially
far now.
been announced and revealed, and it's going to be called Kamen Rider Gaim, and he's a samurai with fruit powers, and he's part of a street dance gang, and there's like 5 of them.
So basically,
And
they
they fight with
they took West Side Story and Fruit Ninja and
No,
combined it with Kamen
it's
Rider.
more like they took Pokemon, and Fruit
And West Side Story.
and West Side. Well, no,
Or
not
Step
really
It
West
Up.
Side Story.
Or Step It Up, I guess.
One of those two, and Kamen Rider and Pacific Rim,
Okay.
and put them all into a big ball, and I think it looks pretty dope.
Well, I'm
Google
gonna
it.
say the more ridiculous a Kamen Rider show is, usually the better it ends up being. Like Forza didn't look like it was gonna be good and it was awesome, but then Wizard looked like it was gonna be pretty solid and it was terrible.
Yeah, Wizard was garbage.
Yeah.
sad
Shabadoobie,
about
man.
that. Don't.
Shabadoobie.
You can go with the one news that I was going to mention.
I think I'm reading your mind on this one. I hope it is.
Okay.
I believe that Convergence of Crisis? Is that what you're going to talk about?
No, I was going to talk about that, but it is Convergence of Cyrus.
Whatever. I'll get it right eventually
No,
when
you
I
won't.
follow the machine god.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, no, they believe that their god lives on their plane, but he's on that planet way up in the sky.
And we're gonna bring
so
her
they're
to
gonna
us.
tap all the ley lines on this planet to bring him
Her.
here. Her.
It's a lady.
It's a lady to this
The
planet.
Lady of the Machines.
That's their whole
What
kit.
if she
It's
doesn't
gonna
want
happen.
to? What if she doesn't want to come?
They don't. She doesn't have a choice. They're gonna like teleport her, like Star Trek wise. I don't want to go. Too bad. Energize.
Or
So-
they just
so
bring
wait.
the planet closer.
So what makes them think it's a good idea to teleport a god against its will to somewhere it might not want to go?
Because they're pretty sure this is the right thing because they spent all their time underground planning for
Once
this.
they have the ability technologically and magically are combined to bring her to them, however way they do it, they think they'll be enlightened enough to join her in her level of awesome machineryness.
Or
Everything will be blown up.
she'll be like, "I'm sorry, what?" And everyone dies.
It is a possibility.
It is a possibility, which
I'm
is
willing to
She
why.
might go full Old Testament.
Yeah.
It's true. Anyways, the faction I believe is officially out.
It is officially out, and our prize was given out to
Yes,
Trevor, Trevor Swallow. He will be getting it hopefully the Monday after this recording.
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats again for winning, and for everyone, thank you for your support
Mm-hmm.
and trying to join in, and maybe next time when we do another giveaway.
Tell your friends.
Yes.
No one saw you do that because you covered your hand on the
Oh,
camera.
no, see, he did this, so it's a secret to just us.
Oh,
what?
Yeah,
But you guys don't have any friends.
We don't have friends.
we have you.
I'm not your friend.
It really isn't. He
My-
said tell your friend.
My reality, it'd be shattered.
Good.
Um,
Good.
Anyways, what other news do we have?
Forge Worlds released their Apocalypse book to go with the 40K Apocalypse book, and for some reason they still refuse to give us Warhound and Reaver Titans. They gave us Chaos Warhound and Reaver Titans, but they have the word Chaos in front of them, which makes me think the Imperial version is going to be different.
Eventually,
If you
I'm
even
sure
know.
there will be.
Yes, ever, which is ironic because it's spread out through like 12 pages in the book.
I'm sure it'll be like Imperial Titanicus supplement will come out in like 2 months.
Oh no, the Forces of Mechanicum.
Oh, was that a rumored thing?
Well, no, but that's what they'll call it, so they can throw in Titans and tanks that we haven't gotten yet.
It's
like the Space
true,
Marine tank
yeah.
that was in Dark Heresy.
Speaking of supplements, there's also the new Tau supplement for
Yep.
Farside Enclave, which should have been in the book.
In case you wanted, you can now field Crisis Suit Army.
Yep.
You
full
can
on
now
press
pay
suit.
$40 for errata.
Yes.
Pay $40 for errata. With really pretty pictures. Like, I'm gonna eventually buy it when I have money.
Yep. And
is
after
bad
you
because
give
it's
back
beautiful.
all of those Tau forces back to the wild card, because what he said would make him take it back has happened.
Yeah, but he basically the only thing he wants back are the suits. That's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah. Well, we're
Well, that
epic
was-
combat.
There will be epic combat. We're
But-
making 2 Tau armies with the same sept, and it's going to be beautiful once one of us finishes it.
Yeah. So we can then do Legends of War again.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting everything back to almost being finished again.
I
And
painted for a little while again.
I'm done. I'm up to 1,500
You've been
points.
done.
He'd been done. I unpainted my entire army. I stripped it all of
Yeah.
paint, and I
Yeah,
got
you
maybe
started over.
1 unit painted now.
I got a real job, and then I'm tired a lot.
And so
Lazy.
we've got one other piece of news.
Yes.
Dark Lord, if you look under that table, there's a box.
There is a box
What
under
happened?
this table. Oh my god, we got props.
What is this?
It's Ninja Wolf Hybrid.
Since we
Sent
couldn't get
us
our PO
a gift.
Yeah. Thank you for sending to whoever address he gave you, which I assume was his home.
Yep.
Our PO box we're
Nope.
working on.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, wait, we got the PO box ready?
No.
No, I can't find my passport.
So
Apparently you need
let's see
identification to
what
get
we
one
got.
of those things.
Oh, and they're all marked.
Oh god, there's
Let's
names
see.
on them?
This one is Matt the Vet. James the Wildcard is
We'll-
not here.
we'll have
We'll give
him.
it to him. This is Matt the Clown. I
Oh,
love that's in
goodness.
White Dwarf.
Oh my god, you're
Oh
wrapped
my
in White
God.
Dwarf.
That is awesome.
Oh my goodness, what is this?
Let's see.
Oh my god, there's a little card on mine.
Yeah,
Little card.
let's take a look
Yo.
at this.
Does yours say this pack's home territory is Alaska? Because
No.
mine says that.
Who plays first
Oh my
in a
goodness.
pack action combat? We play that whoever we pray that whoever has more characters involved must play. I cannot read today.
Okay, hand it to someone else.
Let's see, first then go taking turns laying down cards, but I would be open to the attacker laying all cards first.
To be competitive, these decks would each need 2 to 5 frenzy cards, as well as 2 to 4 hunting party and
Oh my
3
God, I
plus
know what
sneak
this is.
attack. My friend and I play with those cards as restricted, so we only have to put 1 per deck.
This is
I'm opening it. Don't say a word.
Okay, I don't want to be
wanna
wrong.
spoil.
First off, again,
What?
thank you for wrapping this in White Dwarf.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's the
That
coolest.
is dope.
Dude, what is even?
Aww.
You have to get closer to the camera. Oh goodness me. Oh yeah, show her. Yeah. That's amazing. Oh god, what is even? Mine's got like a. Okay, you're gonna have to do a little bleeping, but mine's got a totally skull on it.
Mine is
that's-
very awesome.
oh my- what is-
I can't even see Orzhov.
What is all this?
It's exactly what you think it is.
It's a rage.
Oh my God,
They're
is this-
rage decks.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Oh, now we. That's ridiculous. His sleeves have the. Oh my god.
I'd like to
Holy
thank you for
crap.
putting Stark sleeves on the Stark Lord's deck. I appreciate
Nice.
it.
Yo, yeah, mine still has.
That
Mine
is
just has
nice.
more of the.
And now I'm
skulls.
getting all the
I'm
jokes.
totally down with skulls, by the way. I
That
don't know
is
if you can
awesome.
tell. Wow, this was
So
unexpected.
this is that
Oh,
White
wow.
Wolf werewolf game.
Yes.
I totally just got the name of it. Rage.
The Rage decks.
The Rage deck.
Wow. So
Uh,
well,
we
we
will-
have to do a few videos on this now.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Thank you.
pretty
We will
much-
play
Yes,
this.
thank you. We
constantly.
greatly
That's
appreciate
really
for the
cool.
for the gesture.
That's
This is
really
awesome,
cool.
and these will not go to waste.
Yeah, no, that's.
I can't wait to see what the wild cards.
Can we
when he
read
gets
his
back.
text
Oh,
on him?
We can
God.
read the text
Let's
on
read
his
his little card.
Yeah, we're gonna read the wild cards.
text
card.
at least. We're gonna give them that much. Let's see. Sadly, I do not believe team number 21 draw extra cards in combat. Frowny face.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know what
It's a
any of
rules
this
comment.
means.
It's a
Well,
rules
yeah, they were all
comment.
rules comments, which is why I don't
Oh,
really.
no, mine
understand
just says
any
it's
of
from
them.
Alaska because we're cold because they're from the north. It's lots of Starky themes, and I appreciate that.
Oh,
That is
man.
awesome.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And we must have mentioned that briefly in a podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
with Frank.
So you've been paying attention.
Yep.
Awesome. No, that's awesome. And we will definitely make some content
Yes,
based
involving
on
these
that
decks.
because we can't not now.
Yeah, no, that's
Card game
awesome.
content was
That's-
going to come up on the
We've
site
been
anyways.
meaning
Yeah.
to do it. So
I have a terrible game of Pokemon between us that I still haven't.
I was an
uploaded.
awesome game of Pokemon.
It was only terrible because I lose. I always lose when we record things.
It's true. There. God, I just remembered what you were what you were calling that one marzipan.
Marzipan.
Yeah.
Marzipan.
Okay.
Anyways.
So let us go on to today's topic.
Okay.
So what is today's topic?
What is today's topic again? Remind me.
You mentioned briefly before that you had a strong feeling about tabletop gaming and tournaments.
Ah, yes, I believe that the tournament scene is destroying gaming.
So,
No, really quick, do you mean all gaming or a specific grouping of gaming?
Pretty much all gaming.
Okay.
And it's okay. Listen, you're asking me to explain myself. I guess.
kick us into this.
I don't believe that the concept of a tournament is the problem. It's just the overall approach to tournaments, and the fact that many companies, if not most companies, seem to want to cater as much as possible to the tournament scene, even when it comes to games that really were never intended for tournament play. And it kind of ends up making it so that the casual player, such as myself or, God, I can't think of names, but we all know a number of casual players.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for the casual player to enjoy a game when they are, especially if you can only play at a game store, you're surrounded by tournament players. You're surrounded by super competitive people who are really well read on the rules, and I find a lot of super competitive tournament players are not open about the rules, are not open to helping new players.
I actually got a good example with that is one member from our gaming store talked about how he went to another gaming store in this area, Empire Games, I believe it's called.
I've heard of it, I've never been.
I have. I like that place.
He said that once they decided to just go down there one day because they didn't feel like driving down to Grimm that day, so they said, "Oh, let's go here." And apparently said, "Yeah, you can tell these people were very casual players because we just mowed through them. They never dealt with lists that were built the way they were."
Right.
And it's like you can see, like
that was a bad day for those casual players. They didn't. I guarantee you, they did not have fun because
Or
nobody has
casual or
fun.
new guys.
Nobody has fun getting curb stomped.
Yeah.
Nobody.
just played Demons in 40K lately.
And so the issue there is that casual players and new players, because of people tending towards competitive play, tending towards making sure everything can win a tournament if at all possible, it makes it harder for casual players and new players to really get into it. It makes it harder for casual players to have fun. And honestly, it restricts play. Like if I wanted to go to Friday Night Magic with Plan B.
Nope.
Exactly. I can't.
Plan B is not standard type 2.
Exactly.
Yep.
I genuinely cannot take a fun themed deck that was, doesn't fit a certain standard that is used in tournaments to your average Friday Night Magic, event, and expect to actually be able to play with that deck more than maybe once if there's one guy who's just cool and he's got his own whatever deck. And that deck is probably going to trounce the crap out of Plan B because Plan B is not built to be a tournament deck.
It also goes with going with the Magic scene. That also hurts people trying to get rid of cards. Like when I said, I got a bunch of Magic cards to sell, immediately the first thing is it type 2?
Exactly.
It's like,
People
I don't think so, then
it.
I'm not interested.
Exactly.
It's like, type of thing. I do agree because I do find like there will be times where you're playing in a game and then all of a sudden someone goes, "Why are you playing it that way? No, you gotta get rid of that, put this in, put that in, and you gotta play this way or else," type of thing. Or in another sense, like in 5th edition when Dark Angel's around, people would go, "Why are you playing Dark Angels? They're terrible." No, you don't play them. You play Grey Knight. So no, but if you want to play Dark Angels, you play Space Wolves because you can do a tournament-style Dark Angel army with Space Wolves. And it kind of kills like, well, I'm not playing for tournaments. I'm playing for fun.
Yeah.
I can understand a league system or something at a local gaming store, where it's organized for fun.
I can even understand official, sanctioned tournaments. It's not. The problem is, anytime I say this, it sounds like I'm saying tournaments shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah,
That's
which
not what
you're
I'm
not.
saying.
You're not.
There's so much spillover, which is not a good way of phrasing what I'm trying to say, but there's so much it doesn't stay contained
in the tournament setting.
And that, I don't know who to blame that on, but somebody's to blame, and I don't like it. But you look like you have something to say.
I do, because of the three of us, I've played the most tournaments of anything. I love competitive play. I am the worst competitive player out there, because I also like losing for some reason.
I don't know if you're the worst, but you're not good.
I'm not good. I played a lot of competitive Magic for a long time. I've done a couple of 40K
You
tournaments.
certainly beat the hell out of me in Magic.
Yeah, I destroyed everyone at Yu-Gi-Oh! In our old group, and I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was so mediocre at Yu-Gi-Oh!
That was such a bad game overall. That is
It
not
really
a good
was.
game. Kids stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And play Magic.
That's a game I feel was absolutely destroyed by the tournament scene, but I'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good game.
So I was going to use Yu-Gi-Oh! As
But
an
I
example.
love competitive play because you get, it should, in a perfect world, it builds community because you walk in, it's like, oh yeah, you play too, you immediately find other people to
Right.
play with. But then
Right.
the thing that kills it eventually is metagame, and I always try to explain this to people. It's like, well, my girlfriend came to, she started playing Magic, like, can I bring this deck that I built to Friday Night Magic? I'm like, well, it's standard type too, but the metagame will destroy that. And she's like, what? Well, you see, that deck isn't good against what people normally play at that store because they all play this. And that ruins the fun because she's like, oh.
Well, that ruins the fun for some players.
Another good
But-
example with that is
Yeah.
also, I had an army built for playing against Chaos Demons, and this guy came over and he's like, oh, is that what you're playing? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, that list isn't gonna beat that. And then just like kind of walked away. It's like,
Right.
well, that just kind of killed the mood I was in.
That's the thing is, you're right. Tournaments should build community.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have every. There's no
Potential
reason.
to do so.
There's no reason a tournament should not bring gamers together on some level.
Heck, tournaments
because
are the
we're
reason-
all getting together to play a game.
Heck, tournaments were the reason I started going out to game stores to play.
But
Tournaments
it's-
on one level, tournaments are like mini conventions at this point, especially for games like 40K and War Machine. You have
there's so many people.
BoldCon, and you have, well, not War Games Con, sorry, and Nova, and all that stuff, and all these things where you just get a lot of people
Adepticon.
who come together, and they play, and they get to enjoy the game. The problem, like you're saying, is that when they go home, or even there, people are looking too much at the mechanics of like, well, that's not going to do good against that, A isn't good against B, but B's better than C. Instead of just saying, I'm gonna play this for fun. Who cares if,
it's not even just
Yeah.
the metagame and people approaching it with a metagame attitude. It's the metagame attitude combined with an epidemic of the attitude that if you don't play with the metagame attitude, you're playing the game incorrectly because you're not going to win the
Yes, it's
tournament.
true.
Yes, I do find a lot of that where
And
people-
that's what I'm trying to say is that that's what I meant by overflow or bleed or whatever word I used that
Yeah.
day, is that attitude, which is fine for approaching a tournament. You know, if you want to go into a tournament meta-minded and thinking, you know, if you're not thinking about the meta, you're not doing it right in the context of a tournament, that makes sense. That's Alex Wilson. Alex Wilson is the best competitive player I've ever met because he's super cool about it and will make like lame dumb decks on the side.
Yeah.
Because it's funny and I'm not always playing in a tournament. But there are so many people who will play in a tournament and then will just get stuck in the tournament mindset. So they'll approach a casual player and they'll go, what are you playing that card for? What are you playing that concept for? You're never going to win a tournament like that. And the casual player is sitting there going, I'm never going to play in a tournament. I'm not going to go to a tournament, so you're right. I'm never going to win a tournament.
Then why are you playing the game?
Right,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the attitude.
That's exactly.
Why are you playing the game if you're not playing it to win all the time? I'm playing the game for a social experience.
Yeah.
And that's the issue, is that the tournaments, I guess they attract a certain type of person, and that certain type of person is now part of that game community,
Right.
and is poisoning that game community.
In
I
a
think
sense, it
what-
turns the casual game into a test run for the next tournament.
The casual game
Which
doesn't
I
exist
do-
at that point.
yeah.
It's just always working to be the best at the tournament.
Right.
I think the problem, a solution for the problem, because I'm just thinking about this, is when it comes down to when you do large scale for most games, it turns into a tournament, and becomes very serious about that. You don't see a lot of, sorry, the mask is bugging my face. You don't see a lot of large scale laid back stuff, except for the occasional, when it comes to, I'm just throwing this out there, the occasional 40K laid back Apocalypse tournament, which is not a tournament at all. It's just,
Yeah.
we want to throw all this crap on the table and have fun. You don't see large scale versions of that very
Yeah.
often. And maybe that would
I
help, just
find-
having large scale casual events.
I find that's more common in card games
Yeah.
And it's more common when you're either just a group of friends that plays
Yeah.
Magic or whatever, and you're all bored, and you just do a major multiplayer game where it's like 9 people at the table, and nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Or like at we used to go to this comic book shop called the Long Box,
With 3 O's.
which unfortunately the Long Box is closed. It will always have a place in my heart. But every now and again, everyone there would just be like, hey, Magic time. And it would be like 6 or 7 dudes sitting around a table, just free-for-all.
Yeah, I remember. when we used
And
to do that.
everyone would have a completely different deck. This one guy, D, had a deck called Littlefoot Longfoot. And I think it was like Kithkin and Giants.
I taught D how to play, and he started kicking my butt forever after
D
that.
was great. I miss D. D, if you're watching, which I doubt you are,
Yeah.
I miss you.
Keep working on wherever you're working.
Rob would have whatever deck he had at the time. I think Mike would probably borrow a deck. No, Mike had a deck, I think.
Mike had a deck.
Jamel, the guy who ran the store, had something he called the Legend, and it was this high, and he would win like 80% of the time. Because there were 7 of us, he had time. And that's like the ultimate in gaming for me, at least. Because we were all laughing, and we got a little competitive sometimes. Those games are the reason I built the only Magic deck I have that I ever considered competitive. You know that deck.
That deck was pretty mean to anything
Yeah.
else in that style of like
Oh yeah,
casual.
even one-on-one that deck was okay.
Yeah.
Because it was fast. But that brought us all together. And yeah, we would sometimes get mad at each other mid-game. Because there was a lot of politicking going on in the
multiplayer
7-man
game is renowned for politics. Our
But-
multiplayer games, I mean, remember just
Especially
playing
when
with
Stan was
Stan.
around.
Yeah, Stan was the ultimate in like, you don't want to attack me, you want to do this. And like, why would you be doing that? I didn't do nothing to you, man.
Yeah,
you know,
but,
just constantly. We never say it like that, but you know, it's always politics.
But I feel like that's what the ideal would be in a tournament. People coming together to play a game, and maybe you win, maybe you lose. Either way, afterwards, you've had a fun experience with someone else who shares your hobby. And that's just not what happens. And I don't know if that's an issue with the industry, or an issue with an individual game, or just an issue with the human race.
I do.
But that's
yeah,
the
The
I
problem.
will-
issue is it's hard to be casual with people you don't know.
Yeah.
When you just walk into a game store and like, I want to play a
Yeah,
casual
like a good
game with
example. Like a good example is between you guys. I wouldn't mind going, hey, let's do 2,000 or let's do 1,500.
Or what we
but-
did, like every HeroClix piece we owned.
Yep,
I love the
but
turbo
when you
games.
go to
Those
like
were fun though.
but when you go down to like the regular store, it's like, well, I have to play 1850 because everyone there is only going to have their tournament list that they've built because no one wants to do anything other than the tournament style type of thing.
I think it's a chicken and egg thing though, in regards to that and whether or not it's easy to be casual with people you don't know. Because being casual with someone you don't know, that's an entirely subjective thing. Some people are better at that than others, and I understand that. Especially when it comes to gamers, we are a very varied community. Ranging from the occasional oddity of like, hey, there's that social butterfly guy who also plays 40K, but he was also like on the football team and had all the girlfriends, but he's also not like giving me noogies and wedgies and stuff. He's actually pretty bro. Like you get that guy, but then you get the dude who like literally never leaves the house unless it's to play 40K.
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't shower, and I've never heard him string more than 7 words together at a time, and it's always in reference to the rules. You know, like you have such a spectrum of people. So I can understand having difficulty being casual like that with people around you.
Yeah.
I understand that. But there's no reason to be a jerk about it either.
Yeah.
And I find a lot more people will tend towards being a jerk to someone they don't know than just being sort of like polite and just don't tell me how to play the game because I'm just going to play the game. Because it's easier to be a jerk.
Yeah.
It's very easy to be a jerk. I've done it. Like, I've done it. I've been there. I've been that guy. I get it. In regards to the... I drew a blank.
Feeling like going down to the store, you can only do the tournament
Yes.
style.
I think that grows from that and from the issue of tournament players only ever want to play in practice for the tournament.
Yeah.
Tournament
though-
players for a while at Grim, everyone was just like,
Yeah.
we're playing 2,000 points. So I'm like, I don't have a 2,000 points. I brought with me the army I was going to use for League Night, and
Well-
League Night is Kill Team. So I have a 500
Right,
well,
point
You know,
army.
and I only ever had like the Kill Team army for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Well, I do
Uh,
feel, at least going with that front, I feel the social medium has helped out with that.
It can.
because
Yeah.
with our Facebook page on the Long Island group, you can go, hey guys, 1,500 points Wednesday, who's up for it?
Yeah,
And then
that helps
someone
you
can go,
plan for
okay. Then you know you're gonna find that way. You're like, okay, if no one responds, I know I'm not gonna get a game with this right now.
That can social media is an interesting monster in that you can plan ahead for a game like that, which robs it of the spontaneity, but spontaneity isn't crucial.
Yeah.
But it also gives you the opportunity to get into a social discussion outside of that huge high pressure social gathering situation.
Yes.
Like, social media is one of those things where I'll argue against it one day and argue for it the other, all based on what the argument is.
Yeah.
In this case, I am all for it.
Oh, yeah, I
I am all
agree.
for faceless internet communication with people that you will eventually run into at the store, because it allows you to build something to talk about when you see them.
Heck, when I went through this, I found I was like, wait a minute, there's people there who will play 3-on-3, 1,500 points a pop. What? You know, you find out a lot more. I feel, and you get an idea of who you'd be able to meet with a lot more.
And that's something that's been going. That's something you can use in all forms of situations.
Yeah.
For example, when you first go to college, a lot of times you'll get your college roommate's email address.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will email with their roommates for a couple of months before going to school, so they have some kind of a rapport established.
Yep.
Not everyone does it because not everyone gets the address, but that's something that's done. It's the same concept,
Yep.
you know, and I think that's important for a community like ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do agree.
And I'm a big fan of the gaming community. I'm
Yeah.
a part of it. I've been a part of it. It has its highs, it has its lows, it has its good people like Alex Wilson, who will not only. Here's the thing: if I wish every tournament player was just like Alex Wilson, because he will make a tournament deck and he will play in a tournament. Should I wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you'll know what time it is when we record.
Never.
Because he'll make a tournament deck and he'll play in a tournament, and he'll show up to whatever Friday Night Magic or whatever gaming thing, and he'll bring his tournament deck just in case, but he'll bring whatever casual deck. But at the end of the day, what he'll also do, if he plays a game with you and he sees that you're struggling and not having fun, he'll give you advice. If he sees that you're not winning but you're having a good time, he keeps his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if he finds out you're going to go into a tournament and if he wants to give you some help, he has a way of being like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, no, you need to do this and this and this, or you're doing it wrong, he goes, hey, check out these things that you're capable of doing in the game, and sort of giving you the tools to do it yourself.
Yeah, it's like you already have these cards in the deck, they interact like this sometimes, and that's really
Here's
cool.
a
Also-
combo you have that you didn't realize.
And
you know?
also, he had a way of making it so he's approachable. So you could even on your own just go, "Hey, help me."
In general, he played being the nice person, because it's
Yes.
like, and, you know, it's don't be a jerk when you're giving advice. If you're like, this guy's trying really hard to be a tournament player, and you're a better tournament player, don't be like, you're terrible, you shouldn't do it. It's like, hey man, that was okay, but you would have done a little better if you did this, or maybe next time try this out. Instead of saying you should never play stealth suits again.
Excuse me.
You should never play stealth
I'm
suits.
playing stealth suits.
Don't
I
play
care what
stealth suits.
anyone
Play
says.
Riptides.
Riptides all the time.
Win battles.
Hey,
Farsight Enclave, independent character, Riptide. Awesome.
You can have 5 of them.
No, you can have the one, he's a special character.
No, but you can have 5.
You can have 5. See,
Yes.
stupid.
So
as my final point, I will say there's only one game in which I absolutely blame the problem on the game itself,
okay.
and it's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay, we can get back
Because-
to this.
Yu-Gi-Oh! When it first came out, you know, everyone was on a fairly level playing field because we all had access to the same cards, and it was cool. But as they realized that the tournament scene was becoming a bigger deal, which was quickly,
Yeah.
I feel like the people who make the game decided that they were going to use the tournament scene as a way to continuously make money. Because every time a new Yu-Gi-Oh set comes out,
It was better than last.
you couldn't beat a deck based on the new cards. You had to use the new cards if you wanted to win. Thus, if you wanted to actually get into a tournament, you absolutely had to use the newest set that's come out, or you're screwed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Magic, they come out with new sets and they have their standard format, and you know, but that includes a pretty broad number of cards.
And
Like
they
you can
try-
use cards from last year.
They tried very hard with Magic to keep things relatively balanced to an extent. Yes,
Yeah,
there are
Yu-Gi-Oh!
cards
didn't
made
do
now that are way better than cards back in the day. Like Sarah Angel is nowhere near as good
But there are
as
some
me.
cards that were made back
But
in
they
the
always
day that
try.
are pretty broke.
Yeah.
And they also with Magic, yes, there's standard type 2, which is how Friday Night Magic is, but right now the Pro Tour is playing Modern, which is a different format.
Which is a
And
very long-term format.
which I will never play because it's way too big a format, even though all my cards fit in there. But it's, you know, that's
Right,
what
but
people
it-
want to do.
it-
But
it's-
they try to vary up their
It's
tournament
more
scene.
it's more kind to the wallet.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
And
a
it's
sense.
and it's more open to accepting people who maybe don't give a crap about the current block, or maybe really understand the cards from one specific block,
Yeah.
or just have a really cool concept from one block or another. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't do that anymore. I can't take my cool Legendary Fisherman concept deck that I always wanted to build, go to a current Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and ever hope to win. I can't do it. I can't.
Unless you get a motorcycle.
Well, no, unless I start shooting other players in the face with a gun.
No, you need a motorcycle because then you'd be the only one playing the card game on a motorcycle, and that's how Yu-Gi-Oh
I
is
hate
supposed to
you.
be played now.
I hate
It
it.
is how you're supposed to play that game.
But that's the only game
again-
where I can actively blame the people making the game on the problem.
Yeah. I think, again, my thing that I think just makes it better is more companies, if they're going to support either end, should try to support the casual side a little bit more. I mean, yes, the tournament players are the ones that really produce the most money, technically, because
Yes.
they're always buying your stuff.
I guess
So you
that.
want to be nice to them, obviously, but make some more casual tournament options. I mean, a lot of companies don't run their own tournaments anymore, technically. Privateer Press doesn't know.
Privateer Press is the only one who still does that. I'm
Corvus
aware of.
Belli has its own system for Infinity,
That
and
is
it's
true.
very well set up. And they add more campaigny things to
Well-
it, or at least more interest. I mean, 40K they stepped out entirely of everything, so the only people that run anything are the serious tournament players on the large
Yep.
scale. Campaigns only really happen on the small local scale. It'd be nice to see 40K come back. I say 40K, I mean Games Workshop in general, and just be like global campaign again, guys. Because those are fun, 'cause they are.
especially since like right now, like with that, they're the ones that it's kind of like the reason Forge World's not being used at all in tournaments, because the guys that play it are the tournament players, and they go, well, GW never let us use Forge World, so we won't allow it.
Yeah, well, that's changed with a lot of tournaments.
that is,
but yeah.
but a lot of them
Because
still
eventually
are
people
abiding.
realize there's only like 2 broken units in all of Forge
Well, it's
World.
just that, but
everything else
it's
is underpowered.
for a while.
quickly.
Some places are still abiding by that because the last time GW did a tournament, Forge World was not allowed.
Yeah.
I feel that tournaments can be fun and interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you said, my biggest issue with tournaments is usually when you go back down to the casual level, it still feels sometimes like you're playing a tournament because of the other person on the other side and how it's all looked at. I can't just play a game for casual fun. I have to play a game to know how I will do in the next
Yeah,
tournament.
but you also have to understand, I guess, the proto tournament player, the guy that spends like hours or days working on a list or a deck list or
That's
an
fine.
army, trying to find the most optimum thing to play, and then they play that in tournament, but then that's the only thing they really have to play around with, so then they kind of have to use that for casual sometimes.
Yes.
And you know what,
that
that's-
person has to realize that they have to take a step
The
back
thing
when
is,
they're not.
that
you know.
person, that's fine, but I'm using you as an example because you are, like you just said, that kind of guy. When you come into a game with your tournament deck, you don't. I've seen you not play it to its full potential,
Oh yeah, I do that a lot.
and I've seen you just even if you sit down and you go, you explain like, you know, this is all I have with me right now. It's a tournament deck. I'm very sorry. Like that's a whole different can of worms.
I'll let people like
If
play for a turn or
players
two. And,
who only have tournament decks approach a casual game in that manner, I wouldn't be saying tournaments are killing gaming, because that's a community way of doing it. Saying, hey, just so you know, situate, you know, like that's different.
yeah.
But you'll get the guy who has only tournament decks, and he'll sit down and he'll poop all over the other person and go, "What are you playing, dude? What's
Yeah,
wrong with you?
or go
sell
again-
your cards."
Again,
Or
my
they'll-
favorite-
or,
my favorite
or they'll
action.
say, "What were you expecting?"
Right, yeah.
My favorite thing, this happened to my girlfriend at Friday Night Magic. She was playing this deck. It was a blue illusion deck. It wasn't top tier anymore. It actually was top tier like a couple months previous. She built it completely on her own. She wasn't paying attention to metagame. I do that, but that's a side point. She built it on her own. Really good deck. She brought it to Friday Night Magic. Got trounced because by that point, you got the Delver of Secrets was a much better deck because it's much superior, and she was not playing the most optimal deck. And she went the first time, she gets beat down, and then this 11-year-old middle schooler that she played against at one point is like, "You're a good player. You should get a real deck." And that like stuck with her.
He tried.
A little, but like that kind of thing sticks with you sometimes. You're like, why don't I have a real deck? And then she's like, well, maybe I should just stop playing. And like it really hurt her because
right.
She was,
Well,
like,
yeah. The thing is, if he had said that to you or one of us who's been playing for longer,
I would have kicked him in the shins.
If he'd said that to somebody who's been playing longer, it would have been a different story. But Catherine hasn't necessarily been playing as long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can get that. Yeah. But he tried.
A little bit.
At least he tried to be like, he gave her like an open face compliment sandwich. Here's the compliment, here's the problem, but he didn't get that other piece of bread in there.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like as a tournament player, the tournament player is always thinking about the win and not being like helpful, or maybe it can be. You can see how that can turn off a new player.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Like the new player didn't want to play for a couple weeks or months because they're like, but I suck.
Yeah.
Robin has, I've been trying to, not necessarily trying, but I've been mentioning we plan on doing some Magic stuff for the channel. She's like, she's a little hesitant because she doesn't really know how to play the game, and she's worried that she's just going to get rolled over, and I'm like, no,
and she's seen those college decks.
She's met Ron.
Yeah. She's seen how those tournament decks will just boom.
And so she's worried that that'll happen, and I'm like doing my best. I'm like, no, trust me, we're building some checks and balances, because I know that if I walked into a tournament, even for Fearless Games, and it was you guys and a few of the people we know who play Magic all bringing their best, I'd be done in round one, and I'd be bored for the rest of the night.
Yeah, James would win.
Well, if James were there.
Yeah. Oh no! If James there, you say I'm sorry because his dice rolls once.
Well, I'm talking Magic.
Magic.
Oh, Magic. Oh, Magic.
If it were
in 40K, he and I share the ability to roll lots of ones. Great for leadership checks, bad for everything else.
If Rob or Bobby are there, you're screwed.
Yeah, Rob's gotten a lot better.
So has Bobby.
Yeah. And Bobby got really into the hardcore.
Bobby got real hard into the meta, and that's why I don't play with him anymore.
That's what killed you with the Game of Thrones game.
Yep.
Like, we got into it. Like, this
Bobby
is a
got really hard into the meta and rolled over me way too many times, and now I won't play anymore.
Yeah, and that was basically
it killed my boner for the game.
Yeah, because our community became purely about tournament play, and that wasn't what you wanted. You wanted to build a fun, Lannister deck or whatever.
I just wanted to have fun with my Baratheon deck.
Right.
And the only person that could really sit and have a casual game with was you, and you were busy a lot.
Yeah.
So I was, I played. Anyway.
So that is all.
This has been a long episode.
It has been a long episode, but we have gotten a lot of stuff. We had a lot to talk about, and we had awesome gifts too.
Right. No, that was so good. What was his name again?
I believe it's Ninja Wolf Hybrid.
Ninja Wolf Hybrid, thank you again.
He's one of our top commenters, so it should be obvious who it is.
This is awesome.
Yep.
Oh God,
I look forward to rending their flesh soon.
Yes.
Yeah, I look forward to having my flesh rended soon.
We shall definitely get something together with this, and we will see more of this later.
Yeah.
So, until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.
Bye now.